Welcome to Coweta Schools Game Day, where we highlight the student athletes and athletic programs in the Coweta County school system that bring so much excitement to our community throughout the year. I'm Hat Pines, principal of the Central Educational Center. This program is being brought to you by the video team members here at CEC through our school system's CCS TV YouTube channel. We'll cover the start of the Coweta football seasons following last Friday's season openers for East Coweta, Newnan, and Northgate on August 16th. The Northgate Vikings face Villa Rica this Friday, and the East Coweta Indians face the Newnan Cougars at home in Garland Shoemake Stadium for their annual crosstown rivalry. We'll bring you the action and clips from past games and talk about the players and coaches with East Coweta head coach John Small, Newnan head coach Chip Walker, and Northgate head coach Kevin Whitley right here on Game Day, so stay with us. Hello and welcome to Coweta Schools Game Day. I'm with my great friend, Coach John Small, head coach of the East Coweta Indians. And week one is complete and we are officially within football season. Coach, you, in typical John Small fashion, you scheduled the toughest, and y'all had number one Sandy Creek this week and a juggernaut program like that, and they're running back. Tell us about the game Friday night, my friend.
Well, tough opener, but we knew that would be the case going into it. Sandy Creek is an established program, a lot of tradition, a lot of pride. Got some tremendous athletes, tremendous coaching staff. So we went over there to Tyrone in Georgia to play those guys Friday night, and it was a very physical football game. Started out 7-6 going into halftime, and they came out and they ended up beating us 20-7 at the end. But we really saw some areas on our team that we got to continue to work on. When you win, it covers up a lot of mistakes, but when you lose, it exposes a lot, and so we got to go back to work. But it was a great test for our kids, a good wake-up call for our kids to build off of, and there's a lot of areas in the game we got to fix. We can't turn the ball over. That's a recipe for disaster. But they got a great football team, taking nothing away from them, but we got to play a whole lot better if we want to win some ball games.
Well, Coach, like you said, history has definitely shown, under your leadership, that when you schedule the non-region schedule that you've always put together, that intentional schedule, it has always paid off. And I recall not too long ago, kind of maybe a similar fashion, maybe didn't have the performance you wanted in the opener against Starr's Mill team a couple years ago, and then within a couple weeks you are rolling up, hanging 50, almost 50 on Lowndes on GPB TV. So like you said, I do think it's going to really pay off for you, and of course we got another big one coming up this week. But anyway, tell us kind of about the non-region schedule and what you're hoping to get out of this.
Well, you want to play quality opponents to get yourself battle tested for region, with our region being one of the toughest ones in the state. You know, with 3 teams ranked in the top 10, you got to be battle tested going into region. Right. So, they can say non-region games don't count, but they do count because we want to win ball games, and get some confidence. But we feel like we're stuck a little bit right now, but I know our coaching staff and our players are going to go back to work and get out of this funk that we're in right now, and hopefully come out and play well Friday.
Absolutely. I have no doubt that's going to happen. I was there Friday night, and yeah, you see a lot of good talent and a lot of things. It's just, like you said, it's just that spark plug, that one thing that just turns it, and then next thing you know, you're on a roll. But let's take a look at Friday night's highlights.
Okay. Start off here with special teams. We pride ourselves on special teams. This is the open kickoff of the game. We feel like we got some guys back there that can take it to the house, and they kick it off to us, and the guys really did a good job of executing our return. And this is Jay Sean Stegall. He takes it all the way to the house here. So we feel like if you don't kick it to him, we got another guy and another guy, but
explosive,
but really explosive player, and they did a great job blocking you. I'm looking at penalties. Do we have a penalty? But we didn't, thank goodness. So first PAT of the season. You're going to see us run a kid on here late that was probably celebrating a little bit too hard. That's frustrating, but he gets lined up, and we got Ryan Story, a new snapper, Andrew Shocks, the holder, and Aaron McWilliams is a sophomore kicker. He's ranked the #1 kicker and punter in the country.
Yeah, I believe it.
And he's really got a special leg. Here we are kicking off. We feel like this is a weapon for us. I expect him every time to kick it in the end zone, and he does here. They got a dangerous return guy too in the Pinson kid, but he puts it 8 yards deep in the end zone. Punting wise, he averaged 42 on the night with a dangerous returner back there, but he does a really good job of flipping the field for us here, getting it on the other side of the 50. Good coverage on that one there, getting it down there, down near the 30. So
yeah, he's going to be special, Coach. You can.
Yeah.
I was most impressed.
This kickoff here, he kicks it and he hits the upright about the midpoint of the upright, which is pretty amazing. So he left no doubt on that one.
Right.
So here we are punting again. We don't like to have to punt a lot, but we punted about 5 or 6 times in this game, but they did a good job stopping us. Another good boot here. Good coverage down the field here. Our deep snapper, Ryan Story, makes a big tackle there along with Austin Nunez. And here we are punting again. It's not good when you have special team highlights of punting. But
well, it's going. Having great special teams, Coach. Like you said, if you can get coming out of the gate fast with that, it's going to pay off as the season wears along.
Definitely. Offensively here, we started off kind of hot here. We got Jay-Sean Stegall. We threw a little quick to him, and he's a big physical presence
yes, he
catching
is.
the football. Just got to become more consistent. Here we're going to have Darrell Thompson running it here. Feel like we got 2 good backs here that can get it done. We got to get Darrell to hold onto the football. He spit it up twice Friday night. We got to fix that. Here's a big 3rd down play by Walter Maestri, a sophomore receiver. The good thing is we're still young across the board, guys that played last year, but we've got to continue getting better. Ricky Howe, here's a sophomore running back, almost bust this one out. Gets tackled there by a cricket on the field, I think, tripped on a cricket. Here's a big run here by Cohen Peoples.
Yeah, real elusive there, good instincts.
Yeah, has some savvy, picks up the 1st down. Come back here and good throw and catch there to Jay-Sean. We got a number of guys that can catch the ball, but we're going to go to whoever's open, whoever executes. And in this game, it just seemed like he was a few times. Great catch here by Easton Bowles, takes a big hit. Really proud of that kid for battling back from some shoulder injuries in the past, and glad to see him have some success. Here's almost a great catch, and they call pass interference.
That was a good job of being able to pull the.
When you got to put an offensive highlight as a penalty, you know you struggled that night. So, good run here by Darrell Thompson.
And he's going to punish some defense. That's going to really take.
Yeah, he's a bruiser. Here's a good run here by Cohen again, taking what they give us, picking up the 1st down. Then defensively, we knew they were very good.
Right.
Great pass breakup here by Chance Gilbert, a sophomore safety, really special player. On this same drive, he comes back here and playing safety, and what a great interception here. Got great ball skills, so we get the turnover there.
Excellent coverage.
You know, and they're running back. Amari Lassiter is just a load of a kid, but great player. And you want to play great players and see where you match up. But they great pass breakup there by Lucas Knockin. Lucas Knockin was our Georgia Farm Bureau Player of the Week. He's just a consistent guy, just plays hard. Here they put the Pinson kid at Wildcat, and we did a good job containing him. So I really thought the kids played extremely hard.
Yeah.
You know, in the second half when they got some run game going and we were missing some tackles, we're worn out. But I think we had 15 offensive snaps in the second half, which means we had a lot of defensive snaps. Great play here from Chance Gilbert on the backside. We get beat right there. They try to throw it to one. Chance comes back, makes a big play. So he had 2 pass breakups on the night and had 9 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. He was our City of Hope Defensive Player of the game. Here's a good job of rallying to the football because it takes more than one to tackle that kid. But those are the highlights here. You give Sandy Creek a ton of credit. They did a great job of having their kids prepared, and they executed, and they took what the game gave them. And, you know, I tip my hat to them. It was a great coaching job by them, and we got to do better.
Like you said, that they are a state power, and they have been for a long time. And Coach, you've bested them, I want to think, the last three times you played them. So, like I said, I know I keep sounding kind of like a broken record, but I really think playing, you know, in your design of a non-region schedule to play the very best is going to pay off. You know, historically, your teams going from week 1 to week 2 always show a big jump, and with your guys, there's a lot of good spirit, a lot of good camaraderie, and it's going to pay off, especially going into a huge showdown this week at Garland Shoemake Memorial Stadium. How did it all play out on your big play board? Some of these names that we heard over the highlights.
Well, like I mentioned, the City of Hope Defensive Player of the Game was Chance Gilbert, who had 8 tackles, 2 pass breakups, 1 interception. Had a great game for us. We did not have an Offensive Player of the Game this week. Special Teams Player of the Game was Austin Newnan. He's a starting safety for us, but pulls double duty, plays on all the special teams. So he had 10 tackles, and he also had a blocked punt there in the game. Our Georgia Farm Bureau Player of the Week was Lucas Knockin, our middle linebacker. He had 12 tackles, pass breakup. But he's a guy that goes 100 miles an hour in everything that he does, and he's a great example to our other kids of what a leader is. So I'm hoping some of those guys will follow his lead going in. City of Hope Scout Offensive Player of the Week, some of our young guys that do a great job giving us a look. Cason Rainey.
Awesome.
City of Hope Scout Defensive Player of the Week is a senior defensive lineman that he's a team player.
That's awesome,
Tyler Hollins.
That Reeks team right there, that's great.
And then City of Hope Scout Special Teams Player of the Week was Kennedy Allman. So really proud of those guys for the effort they give. They may not play much on a Friday, but they just do a tremendous job Monday through Thursday to get our guys ready.
And just knowing your role and the impact they have on your team, I think that is absolutely great, Coach. Coach, you know, make no bones about it, it's Newnan week, and that is a very, very special game to this community. It's a big-time game in the state. Tell us how excited your kids are about this crosstown rival showdown.
Well, obviously, I've been here 8 years. We've been here 8 years at East Coweta, and we've experienced this ball game. I think it's one of the greatest rivalry games in the state of Georgia, if not the country. It's just a unique deal. So I'm excited for our kids, you know, every year to get the chance to play in this game. The one thing we preach to them is this 1 week.
Right.
You know, it's not the Super Bowl. It's not the end of all. It's we got a game to play this week for our community. They got a game to play for their community. Let's go out there and get on the field and play between the lines and see what happens. So it's exciting. Our kids will be excited. I know they're coming off a big win this past Friday, which is good for them.
Right.
But it'll be fun Friday night at Garland Shoemake at 8 o'clock. We also have senior night, so we get to recognize 32 seniors, players,
awesome.
and four trainers. So we're excited about honoring them. And then hopefully we get better this week and can give those guys a challenge on Friday when they come to us. So we'll see what we can do.
Well, Coach, it is always, like you said, it has always been a special, special game to this community. I'm super excited about being there. I know all of Coweta County is too. It's going to be jam-packed at Garland Shoemake Memorial Stadium, and you've had possession of the Brantley Knott water cooler for some time, and obviously, just like you said, you know exactly how big it is for your kids. But at the same time, it's just a game. It's a chance to get better and a chance to go out and compete. And you do a great job of compartmentalizing that, Coach. We're looking forward. Any parting words you have for EC Indian Nation as we go into this crosstown rivalry matchup this week?
Yeah, get your tickets fast and get there early to find parking because it's going to be a packed house. But just cheer loud and don't cheer for the other team.
Well, there is no doubt. Tickets are going very fast, and we're looking forward to it, Coach. Great job as always, and we will looking forward to seeing you next week on Game Day, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll be back more with Coweta Schools Game Day in just a few moments. Welcome back to Coweta Schools Game Day. I'm here with head coach of the Northgate Vikings, Coach Kevin Whitley. Coach, great to have you back on the show. Good to see you as always.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Coach, you started off the season against a traditional power in Starr's Mill. Tell us a little bit about Friday night. I know that's a tough one to open up with, but tell us a little bit about the game, how it went Friday night.
Yeah, I think Starr's Mill is probably one of the top programs not only in the area but the entire state. I think last year they made the semifinals. So it's a great non-region game to kind of see what areas you need to work on. and they definitely expose things that we need to definitely work on. So this is part of the process that most people don't like to go through.
Right.
And they think it happens overnight. So we're able to watch the film, and we'll learn from those mistakes and get better for this week.
Absolutely. Coach, just like you said, you know how to win. You know how to win big. And this is part of the process, you know, kind of coming in. Tell us, what are some of the things you're looking to improve on as you go in from week 1 to week 2 as you come up against Villa Rica this Friday?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing from a defense standpoint, we got to tackle better. We had a number of missed tackles, poor angles, not leveraging the ball. And then offensively, we got to sustain drives. I think we kind of put ourselves behind the 8 ball with some penalties. Now it's 1st and 15, 2nd and 15. And those things that we can control, and we got to learn how to control those things.
Right, right. Well, as Coach, we are so happy that we have your leadership here in Coweta County. Let's look at some of the promising takeaways that you took from Friday night's football game versus Starr's Mill.
Yes, sir. I think it shows that we're capable of playing some good defense. That right there was Braxton Davies on the tackle. Again, I think here Raymond Vargas makes a good tackle for limited yardage. Here, Peyton Liggett makes a great job as well. So those were some of the high points of it. I think, from a standpoint, again, we got to do a better job tackling, angling the ball. Really good run by Malik Dixon there. And we just, again, overall, I think we got to control the controllables, do the things that we're capable of doing, and making sure that we're lined properly and we can make those plays. So,
yes, sir.
Going into week 2, again, you learn from these mistakes, and the great thing about it, you get to film games, so you can go and look at it. We'll look at it again today and just keep trying to improve on the areas that we need to improve on.
Like I said, those are several names I think I heard from last year, so I know they're going to continue to develop under your watch. And like I said, just still a lot of great things to take away. And like I said, real excited about this upcoming game. Yeah,
no doubt. I think here our freshman quarterback grew up a lot last night, Friday night. And we had a couple other freshman players. A good catch by Trey Gill, who's a freshman. And like I said, so, we're young in a lot of areas, and our kids just got to keep working and stay together, and we'll get through this process.
Awesome.
Again, some good play, good catch by Xavier.
They're definitely showing a penchant for explosive plays, Coach.
And the great thing about it, all these guys will be back next year. So again, it's young team just getting through the process. Another true freshman scores there. So again, we got to keep learning from mistakes and then control things that we can control.
Awesome, awesome. A little outside zone run there.
Yep.
Coach, you're developing a lot of great players, and not only just talent-wise, but also character-wise. They're just staples of what Kevin Whitley's teams have. How did that all average out on your big play board this week? Yeah,
I think the biggest thing is trying to get young men to understand, how you do anything is how you do everything. And so when we talk about cleaning the locker room up, being on time to class, being respectful, establishing work ethic, those things, if you can do the things that are not glamorous, the winning will come.
Right.
And so the focus, since I've been there, just been doing those type of things. It's just, again, being a man of your word, being on time, working hard, being a good teammate, not being selfish. And those things translate into being a good football team. And so once we get those things down, I think the wins will come. But right now, like I said, we're in the building process. Everybody sees the beautiful home, but nobody wants to lay the foundation.
Right.
So that's where the process we're in now. We're laying concrete. We're getting it. And people don't see that part. And well, let me say that they drive past that part.
Right.
They see it, but it doesn't, get anybody to stop.
Right.
But once the house is built, now everybody wants to come and see the process. So that's where we're at. Like I said, we learned a lot from the good Starr's Mill team. Very thankful that they came over, and Coach McDonald scheduled a really tough opponent to start the season off, which is really good for us.
And like I said, you're there's no doubt you are the architect, and you know everything about grinding and laying the foundation with all the teams that you've been a head coach on, and that's just been a staple of what Kevin Whitley's teams are. I've always heard too that a lot of the team's biggest improvement goes from week 1 to week 2, and I know your guys are going to be super juiced up to play Villa Rica coming in next week. Tell us about our upcoming opponent versus the Villa Rica Wildcats.
Yeah, another really good program. I don't know what Coach McDonald was thinking when he scheduled all these tough teams. But again, Villa Rica is a very good team. I think they beat us last year by a point, so they'll come into our stadium with some confidence. Very athletic, very good up front, very well coached. So we're gonna have to do our part to make sure we again control the things that we can control.
Awesome.
And so we'll be ready to go.
Well, Coach, I'm super excited for you. Super excited for where you're leading this program. Super excited to have your caliber as a head coach in our school system. Any parting words you have for this upcoming game for Viking Nation and all of Valhalla as Villa Rica comes into Valhalla this Friday night?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, from a fan standpoint, just to understand that where we are.
Right.
We're one game in. We didn't play as well as we wanted to play, but that's just a part of the process. So again, it's always a 1-week season. What they don't tell you about the biggest improvement between week 1 and week 2 is that for everybody.
Right.
So,
also the opponent.
Yeah,
right.
so it's not just my team as well. So again, we just got to control the controllables. Stick together and do the things we talked about. Being on time, working hard, being a good teammate. Understanding, studying, taking care of your body,
yes, sir.
Going to sleep at night, so all those things matter. So our kids are getting it, and like I said, we'll get there.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we're super excited about it, super excited about your upcoming matchup with Villa Rica, and best of luck to you, and can't wait to watch you guys.
Good. Thank you for having us again.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And with that, we'll be with more Coweta Schools Game Day in just a few moments. And we're back with more Coweta Schools Game Day. I'm here with head coach of the Newnan Cougars. Big win Friday night. Coach Chip Walker, great to have you back here, my friend.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Awesome.
It was a good win. We enjoyed getting off to 1-0 start. There's no doubt about that.
No, like I said, Coach, that was a big-time win starting off the season against a really tough opponent. Like I said, I need to just shut up because I want to hear all about the game. But looks like your kids didn't hold back, and it looks like Mother Nature didn't hold back either.
Look, first off, our kids played great. They got after it. It was a good night for that. We executed our game plan and the things we wanted to do both offensively and defensively. And then you're right about Mother Nature. In the second half, I don't know that I've ever been so wet at a football game. Me and Coach Sweeney were trying to think of one because, he's been with me. This is 20 years. He's been with me 19 of those 20. And he's like, I'm not sure that we were ever this wet before. But our kids, look, here's the other great thing about them is they embraced everything. They embraced the rain. They embraced the conditions, and they did a great job.
Well, Coach, like you said, being locked in like that, not to mention when you're having to hit the bus and go through Atlanta and Spaghetti Junction to get there, even the trip itself can have have an effect. So to have your kids locked in like that, they must have been really firing on all sides.
Well, it was exactly what you said. We were sitting there before the pregame talk, and I was like, I don't know that I've had to say one word to anybody all day long. And you got 100 teenage boys. Sometimes that's not the case. And they were focused on what we were doing, and dialed in at pregame, dialed in through all the distractions and everything that went on, and then went out there and executed. So we were proud of them.
Awesome. Well, that is a great job of getting those guys ready, Coach. I can only imagine the school spirit that is permeating the halls on LaGrange Street, on the court square. I won't get too far ahead of the game because I can only, with this week's big game coming up. But before we get started, let's take a look at Friday's highlights.
Sounds
big
good.
win over the GAC Spartans.
The first drive of the game for us, and we're on a 4th and 5. Freshman John Matthews with his first varsity catch for 7 yards to keep the drive going. We're going to see it here in a little bit of.
I'm hearing some new names here, Coach.
Yeah, look, John Matthews is a freshman that's going to be a really good player. About 2 or 3 plays later, Jalen Teagle, our offensive line. There you see big.
That's a great push.
Romel Willis, a defensive lineman that we bring in to play a little fullback right there, getting in there, and Jalen ended up finding the end zone.
A little page from Mike Dick right there with the refrigerator Perry.
It was good. I had the 4th down conversion, and then to be able to stick it in. I think we ended up being 5 out of 6 on 4th down conversions.
Oh, that's great.
For the night. Their first drive of the game, Josiah Smith with a big tip right there, and then Caleb Stegall with a interception. And that's one of the things that he's been doing all summer long, is making those plays. There you see Brody.
Yeah, he zipped that.
There you go, your neighborhood connection.
Yep,
Brody
yep.
to Gus for a big first down to get us moving the chains and getting us from being backed up. And what we're going to see now, there's a big 3rd and 8. This is a 17-play drive right before halftime. I think when we were at halftime, we talked about it. And here's the touchdown pass that ends that 17-play drive. There's Brody Campbell. He's staring down a defensive lineman and throws the little wheel route to sophomore Jalen Britt for his first varsity touchdown. But at halftime, we talked about it. I think we had 40 snaps on offense.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And they had 17. Our one drive was 17 plays. There you see Josh Knowles. You know, that's their big wideout that's going to Syracuse. I think we held him to about 3 catches for the night. You can't hardly see it, but Josh Knowles comes off the hash.
Great coverage.
And makes a huge play for us here in the 3rd quarter. This is about the time. Watch Rodney Colton right here. He sniffs out the screen pretty good.
He sniffed that one out real good. Those are those statement plays right there.
And this is about the time that the bottom's about to drop out. And here you go. Here you see Caleb once again. He's in a one-on-one battle with the young man again that's committed to Syracuse, and he makes a big play. Here's another name that's new for you: junior running back Cam Davis. Ended up the night with 15 carries for 81 yards. Has a big first down right there, which leads us 2 plays later to Jalen Teagle putting the nail in the coffin right here. And
that was nifty. Great cut.
And taking it for 37 yards for a touchdown to get us up at that point in time, once the extra point, 20-3. And if that wasn't the end of it,
and I can definitely see it was coming down. I saw it in the pictures and everything. And those are some heavy raindrops there, Coach.
This definitely was the end of it. Caleb Stegall with his second interception of the night to kind of really end the thing. And I think we kind of ran the clock out from there. And you know, it was a really good night.
Coach, that is great. Like I said, there is nothing like getting the season started off with a great win against a great opponent. Just to get all the momentum going into a week like we got coming up. You know, Coach, talking about your big play board, of course, I'm always biased with my neighborhood connection with Brody and Hayes and Gus and Porter and all that. But a lot of new names right there, especially kind of having that committee at running back that just really seemed to put up a lot of yards and just a great job. Tell us how that all sort of carried out on your big play, big cat board.
There you go. Well, defensive player of the game, you saw 2 big plays from him, Caleb Stegall with 2 interceptions. You know, we moved him over last year to corner about halfway through the year. He's moved to safety this year, and he's picked passes off everywhere we've gone all summer long. So it's good to see him do that in the first game with 2 interceptions. He was a defensive player of the game. And then offensive player of the game, we went with the offensive line. They paved the way
I can believe that.
For over 260 yards of rushing. Jalen Teagle, our first running back, had about 25 carries for almost 150. And then you saw Cam Davis with 80 yards. So it was a really good night. Those guys up front from left to right, Braylon Roberts, Emma Crite, Hudson Huey, Javion Hinton, and then Zion Williams. They all had great nights. Our tight ends are right involved in that as well, with Val Hudson, Cade Whitman, and then obviously Evan Russell as our H-back. They paved the way for us to move the ball a lot. And then the special teams guy was the sophomore wideout that you saw that caught the touchdown pass. Jalen Britt, he had a couple big kickoff returns. He caught all the punts, especially once the weather turned bad. That was huge for us. And so those are our players of the game. It was a really good night all the way around.
They looked so fundamentally sharp out there, Coach. Great job. Not, like you said, not to go back and cover everything. But like I said, with the rain, the drive, everything just looked like kids were locked in and going out there having fun. So
and they did. They had fun, and that's a key point of something we've talked about a lot is enjoying playing with your teammates, and they did a good job with it.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, need I say any more?
No, you don't.
All right. It's EC rivalry
Yeah,
week.
it is.
I've been blessed to be on both sides of that rival, and it's special. And when you've got two great programs, two great head coaches going to battle. I know you guys are hungry for that Brantley Knott water cooler. Tell us how you're feeling going into this big week.
Well, obviously, you talk about the game. It's yeah, I'm probably a little biased since I'm involved in it, but we feel like it's probably the best rivalry in the state. I know people.
I'm with you on that.
They can
100%.
talk about Parkview and Brookwood and Lowndes and Valdosta and all the other ones, but Newnan East Coweta is a special night for those communities. It's a great night. Obviously, they're a really good football team. They pushed Sandy Creek, who's the #1 team in the state. That thing could have turned out a little different. So it's it's going to be a big test for us. They're a good football team. We feel like we're a good football team,
Absolutely.
and so we're going to go over there and cut it loose and see what happens.
There you go. Well, Coach, I am super excited. We'll be there, as I know all of Coweta County.
Yes, they will.
We'll be there, and it's special for your kids. It's a great environment to play in.
So we appreciate it. It's going to be fun.
All right, looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll be back more with Coweta Schools Game Day in just a few moments. That will do it for this week on Game Day. Thanks to all our head coaches, and best of luck to all our Coweta teams in 2024. We'll be back with you throughout the year, highlighting the great action on the fields and in the gyms of the Coweta County school system. Don't forget to like and subscribe to CCS TV. It helps to get the word out about all the great happenings throughout our school system. I'll see you soon.